So here I have 2 cups of water. We're going to bring the water to a boil. And here I've cut up one small potato, peeled it and cut it up into cubes. And this is 1 carrot. I've peeled the carrot and cut it into cubes. Now once the water starts to boil, I'm going to add the carrots and the potato, and we're just going to parboil it. That is just when it's just cooked. We don't want the potatoes to be overcooked, but just rightly cooked, so it still has a crunch. So now I'm going to add the cooked potatoes and carrots to a bowl. Next, I'm going to add 1 small capsicum that I've cut into very small cubes. Next goes in 1 small tomato. I've removed the pulp of the tomato and I've cut it up into small cubes. Next goes in 1 cubed cucumber. Now mix all of these ingredients well together. You could add French beans, corn, the choice is yours. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of pepper powder and some salt to taste. Mix everything really well together so that the salt and the pepper coats all of the other ingredients. Now I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of veg mayonnaise without any flavor in it. And mix all of this well together. Now you could add the garlic mayonnaise or the other flavored ones if you like, but I prefer it to have the plain flavor without any other extra flavoring. That really, it really tastes nice without all the other extra flavoring. But the choice is yours, of course, and whatever you have at hand you can use. So now mix all of this together well. So our filling is ready. Now I will leave a link to how to prepare pure veg canopies at home. I'll leave the recipe link down in the description box as well as the comment section. So I've already prepared the canopies in advance, and now all you have to do is just fill them with this filling. And one tip I like to give you here is keep the filling in the refrigerator, and when you're ready to serve, only then put the filling into the canopies. The filling should be nice and chill. And that's it, guys. Your canopies are all ready. It's a lovely snack or a starter, or just when you're hungry and want to have something light. So I hope you liked today's short and sweet recipe. Don't forget to check out how to make homemade canopies which are pure veg at home. And give this recipe a try, and I'll catch you in my next video. Soon as anything, this is Akshata signing off. Bye. Today's lovely recipe. So first I'm going to work on making the dough. So for that we're going to need 1 cup of flour or maida, half a cup of corn flour, 1/4 cup of clarified butter or ghee, some salt to taste, and water as needed to make a nice soft and firm dough. So now I'm going to add both the flours, that is the plain flour as well as the corn flour, to a bowl. Next, I'm going to add some salt to taste. I'm also going to add the ghee. And now with my fingers, I'm just going to rub the ghee into the flour really well so that we get, we coat each and every part of the flour with this ghee. So take your time with this. And just scramble it as you go. And you should be able to hold it like this. It should all come together like this. You should be able to hold it like this. And now we're going to add a little water at a time and make a nice firm dough. Now I used about I think 3 or 4 tablespoons of water. And once our dough is formed, we're just going to add a few drops of ghee. And again, we're going to knead this dough really well. So take your time with this, about 4 to 5 minutes. Knead the dough because we want the dough to be really nice and elastic and easy to work with. Also, the prawn puffs will come out really crispy and crunchy if you really knead the dough well. And now you should just, if you press your fingers into it, you get this kind of a dent or a mark. And now we're just going to roll the dough up and keep it aside for at least 15 to 20 minutes minimum. So while the dough is resting, let's work on making the filling. Now for the filling, we need the following ingredients. Here I have 1 cup of fresh prawns which I've deveined, washed. This is 1 medium onion, chopped fine. 1/4 cup of fresh coriander leaves, chopped fine. 1 green chili, chopped fine. This is about 6 to 7 cloves of garlic, chopped fine. 1 inch of ginger, chopped fine. And 2 teaspoons of vinegar, or you can substitute it with lemon juice. This is 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi powder, half a teaspoon of pepper powder or miri powder, and 4 to 5 fresh curry leaves that I've just chopped up fine. We also will be requiring a little salt to taste. And so now we can start making our filling. So now in a pan, I've heated about 2 teaspoons of oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm going to first add the ginger, the garlic, the green chili, and I'm going to saute these 3 ingredients really well until the rawness of the ginger and the garlic goes away and the garlic turns a little bit brown. We're going to saute it. Then I'm going to add the onion. We're going to fry the onion also very well. So if you chop everything really nicely and finely, the filling really, comes with a perfect consistency. We don't want big pieces of ginger, garlic, and onion, because then when we are putting it into the dough, it does tend to, cause a problem. So better to cut it very fine. So now I'm going to add the turmeric powder, the pepper, and the curry leaves, and again saute everything really nicely for about 2 to 3 minutes till everything comes together really nicely. Now I'm going to add the prawns. Now if you want, you can even chop the prawns up into smaller bits. And now we're going to mix everything well. We want to fry the prawns and cook the prawns at this stage. So we'll fry the prawns really well. Now I'm using medium-sized prawns, so I've cut them up into halves. You can also use the smaller prawns. And now when the prawns are cooked, they will actually curl up a bit and turn to a denser or a thicker white color. From a transparent color, they turn to a thicker whitish color. So we're going to saute all of this for 2 to 3 minutes. Now I'm just going to flavor it with some salt. Now I use Himalayan pink salt. It's good for health, and it is really nice to use. So I'm going to now add the chopped up coriander. Mix everything really well together. Turn off the heat after you add the coriander, after you mix everything well. And you can see that the filling has now reduced in size because everything has come together really well. And now once the flame is turned off, I'm going to add the vinegar or the lemon juice. Whatever you like to add, you can add either vinegar or the lemon juice. So our filling is ready. I'm just going to transfer it to a bowl and let it cool completely. And now is the fun part. Once our mixture is nice and cool, all we have to do is make these beautiful prawn puffs. So now I'm going to make small balls out of the dough. Just roll them between the palm of your hands. This dough is so easy to work with. It's very elastic and really nice to work with. So now I've made balls. Again, I'm going to make them into halves, as you will see. Then I'm going to apply a little bit of oil onto my rolling surface. I'm not going to add any flour because then when you're frying it, the flour gets into the oil and becomes a big mess. So just apply a little bit of oil and then just roll it out into a small little circle, just like what you would do with nyoris or karanjis. And then I'm just going to place a little bit of the filling, say a teaspoon roughly. Don't overfill it and don't underfill it either. And then I'm just going to fold it over like this. Seal the edges by pressing it down. Then I'm just going to pick it up, press the edges, and then just seal them by making this particular pattern. Now I'm doing it this way because I find that the puffs get really well sealed and there's no chance of the filling coming out. But otherwise you can also cut them like you would with a nyori or a karanji using a cutter. But I found that this was much better. So in this way I made all the puffs. Now if you want to make more, you can always double or triple the quantity of all the ingredients, depending on how many you want to make. And you can shape them in whatever way you want. And just for fun, the last one I like to make it into this little ball or potli or pouch or whatever. I couldn't think of a name. If you can think of something, let me know in the comment section below. I couldn't think of a name, but it is so cute and I didn't want to waste any of the dough, so I just made this small thing. And then now all we have to do is just deep fry them till they're nice and golden brown in color. Now alternatively you could bake these also. So for that you'll have to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes and then put a baking paper onto the tray. Then just brush this with a little oil or butter or ghee and then bake them on both sides for about 5 to 7 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius. That's it. But somehow these fried ones are more crispier, more crunchier. And just fry them and then drain them off on some kitchen napkin to drain off the excess oil. And that's it, guys. These amazing prawn puffs are all ready. Now you can also make these and freeze them. I mean, before frying them, you can freeze them for about a week or so till you want to use them, or put them in a vacuum bag and then fry them whenever needed. And our lovely Goan prawn puffs are all ready. I can't wait to dig into them. Just dip them into some ketchup or any sauce of your choice. And this is how it is inside. The filling is nice and crispy, almost like a puff pastry. So make this, guys, and let me know. So friends, let's start with today's recipe. Now I've taken 4 large eggs and I brought the, just boiled them in some water for about 15 minutes. So let them boil in this water for 15 minutes and then transfer them to a bowl which has got, room temperature water. Let it sit in that for 15 minutes. Then when it's, it's in like at room temperature and you can handle the eggs, then you just start peeling the eggs and keep them in a separate bowl. Because if the eggs are hot and you try to peel them, then all the peel and the egg part also does come off. So let it cool to room temperature. Then we're just going to cut them up into halves and we're just going to scoop out the yolks in a separate bowl. So in this way, just cut the eggs up into half and take a spoon and the yolks will come out very, very easily. So these are hard boiled eggs. That is, you have to boil them for 15 minutes and then let them sit in room temperature water for another 10 to 15 minutes. And once you're able to handle the eggs, only then start, shelling them or peeling them. That way, the eggs won't break etc. So now I'm going to take these yolks and I'm going to mash them up really, really well with the back of a spoon. Now I'm going to add some English mustard sauce to this, about a teaspoon. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Mash everything really, really well. It has to be a very, very smooth kind of paste. Now I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper powder. Then I'm going to add some salt to taste and again mix everything really well. So you have to have this very thick kind of a consistency for the paste. It shouldn't be too runny. And now I'm just going to add about 3/4 of a teaspoon of Tabasco sauce. This really, brings out the flavor of the yolks, and it just elevates the dish to another level. Now I'm just going to put this into a piping bag. You can use, a spoon and just put it into the white of the egg. But otherwise, if you use a piping bag, then it really, you can make, it just goes into the right place and it looks pretty too. And then just garnish it with some coriander. I had spring onions at home, so I just chopped them very fine. If you wanted a little spicy, you can just sprinkle a little bit of red chili powder on top too. And that's it, friends. Your lovely egg starters are all ready. Try out this dish, friends. It's really, really simple and very, very tasty. Let's go through the ingredients. There are really few and some things that we really have in our kitchen or our pantries. So now here I have 250 grams of chicken mince. These are 2 medium-sized onions that I've chopped really, really fine. 4 to 5 green chilies chopped fine. Now you can adjust this according to how spicy you'd like the koftas. 10 cloves of garlic chopped fine. This is about 1/4 cup of fresh coriander chopped fine. 1 egg. Now this is the juice of 1 lemon, so roughly about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is 1 cup of breadcrumbs. 2 teaspoons of pepper powder. And our last ingredient, which is also very important, is salt to taste. So now that we have our ingredients sorted, let's just get started. So first I'm going to add the onions to the mince. Now you can see that I have all my ingredients just ready. So this is would be a good tip to, keep all your ingredients ready. Next goes in the garlic, the green chilies. Now I would suggest that you go a little on the spicier side because then it really brings out the taste. Of course, if you're not used to spice, then you can cut down on the spiciness. Next goes in the pepper powder, the coriander leaves. Now one tip is that everything really needs to be chopped very fine, so take your time with the ingredients. Now some salt to taste. Now I'm going to just beat the egg up and add that. And the lemon juice. So I'm going to mix all of these ingredients well together. Now you can see that I've not added the breadcrumbs yet. And now I'm going to add the breadcrumbs. Now here I'm mixing it with a spoon, but I prefer, mixing it with my hand because then I come to know, okay, how much breadcrumbs are needed because we want a firm and stiff kind of a mixture. So now our mixture is ready. So we're just going to make very small koftas or small balls and set them aside. So make them very small, don't make them very big. And now would be a good time to keep, you know, just about a little bit of oil for heating. So I'm just going to be using about 4 tablespoons of oil. I don't want to deep fry this, but I would like to, just shallow fry them. You could deep fry them too. So I'm just using about 4 tablespoons of oil, and I'm just going to put the koftas in, and I'm going to fry them on a low to medium heat till they are nicely evenly cooked. Keep your flame from low to medium, and then just keep tossing the koftas around till they are nice and golden brown. Keep an eye on them so that they don't get burned. Don't increase the flame to very high, because then only the outside will be cooked and the inside will be raw. So cook it evenly on a low to medium heat. You have to try out these koftas if you haven't already. You can have them all by themselves like a starter, or you can have them with some pulao. The choices are endless. And now you can see that they are all nice and golden brown in color. And what I like to do is I like to drain them on a steel sieve like this, not on kitchen napkins, because that way they remain nice and crispy. If you put them on the kitchen napkins, they do become a little soggy. And that's it, guys. Delicious koftas are all ready to enjoy. So friends, don't forget to give this video a big like. Don't forget to subscribe to Akshata's recipes by hitting the red subscribe button that you see. Let's see today's puff pastry recipe for the chicken puffs. Now here I've taken about 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour or maida, a pinch of salt, about 2 tablespoons of clarified butter or ghee, and about 1/4 cup of water. Now I'm going to take the flour, and to that I'm going to be adding the clarified butter or the ghee, and I'm going to crumble it up till it resembles some breadcrumbs. So ensure that all of the ghee coats the maida or the all-purpose flour really well. I've also added the salt to taste. Now I'm going to add a little water at a time, And we are going to knead this to a very stiff dough. So just about 1/4 cup of water will do. And then just knead this dough for about 2 to 3 minutes till it's nice and smooth. And then we're just going to keep it aside for at least 30 minutes. Now I've taken about half a cup of corn flour and 1/4 cup of clarified butter or ghee, and I'm just going to mix the two of them well together to get a very thick and smooth paste. Now our dough has been sitting for half an hour. I'm just going to divide it into 6 equal pieces and just roll them and keep them aside. Then I'm going to dust my surface and I'm going to roll out one of the pieces or the balls of the dough, keep it aside, then roll a second one. Then I'm going to apply this corn flour and ghee paste all over the second rolled out dough, and I'm going to place the first one on it and keep the two aside. I'm going to repeat this procedure in this way. So I'm going to apply the paste to the one I rolled out, and then I'm going to pick up the one which is aside, the two layers, and place it on this one, and then just roll it and keep it aside. So in this way I'm going to do it with all the rest of the 6 parts. Now when everything is done, I'm going to roll it out and then I'm going to apply the remaining paste, and then I'm just going to fold it in this manner. Roll it out like this. As thin as possible. And then just fold it in this manner and then keep it aside for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can refrigerate it also for 10 to 15 minutes. Now let's prepare the filling for this chicken puff. Now I had boiled about a cup of chicken. I'm just going to shred it once it is cooled down. So I boiled it for about 5 minutes in some water. Now I've taken a pan and that I've added 1 tablespoon of butter, to that 1 tablespoon of maida. Then I'm going to add a cup of milk and I'm going to make a smooth paste. So this is a kind of a white sauce. Then I'm going to flavor it with some salt and about a teaspoon of black pepper powder. And to this I'm going to add my boiled and shredded chicken and mix everything well together. Now I'm going to transfer this mixture to a bowl and I'm going to refrigerate this for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now after our puff pastry has sat for about 20 minutes aside, as well as the filling, we're ready to make our chicken puffs. So I'm going to roll the dough as thin as possible to about just an inch of thickness, and then I'm going to take a vati and I'm going to cut some round circles like this. And then I'm going to take these molds, just butter them a bit, and then I'm going to put these rounds and press them so that we get this lovely shape of the mold. Now this dough is very elastic and very easy to work with. Now when you're making these circles, ensure that one is for the mold and one is for the covering. Now I'm just going to fill in these with the filling that we made of the chicken. And then we're just going to cover it up with the other part like this and seal it up well. Just remove any extra and you can keep that aside. We can use it for the remaining chicken puffs. And once you've done that, just take a knife and just make a crisscross like this in the center. So this is what I'm going to do with all the rest of them. Now this is a good time to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Put them on a tray and I'm just going to brush them with a with one beaten egg. I'm going to use the entire egg, the white as well as the yolk. I've just beaten it up and I've just used a silicone brush and I've just brushed the top of it. And now I'm just going to put it into my preheated oven and I'm going to bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Now each oven is different, so just keep an eye on it. And then you'll see that you get these beautiful golden brown chicken puffs all ready. So you can get the tray out and let them cool completely before we demold them. So let them be out for about 10 to 15 minutes till they completely cool and you can actually demold them and handle them easily. And now I can easily demold them after they've completely cooled down, and you can see that even the base has nicely baked and it comes out of the mold so easily because we had buttered the mold and because they're really baked very, very well. So in this way, I've made my lovely chicken puffs. You can fill in any filling of your choice. You can go with a different type of chicken recipe. You can even add some mushroom recipe. You can use vegetables. You can do anything of your choice and make these lovely puffs.